Good morning, Joyflu group, day 2 of self-love challenge. Thanks for joining. Okay, so this morning's one is titled Love Letter to Self. I'll get to that in a minute. So one of the big things that we have with self-love, and that is how we talk to ourselves, whether out loud for us weirdos who like to talk to themselves out loud, or our internal thoughts. Now, with every single thing that we think or do, it's either at a benefit to ourselves or it's at a detriment to ourselves. So the challenge here really is to start noticing and potentially regulating what we're saying to ourselves internally and externally. Okay, so am I beating myself up? Am I saying nice, pleasant things? Or am I being a bitch to myself? Okay, and a nice way of looking at this is asking yourself, would I say that to a child? Yeah, I'm not going to tell a child that she looks fat in that that she should have done a better job, that it wasn't good enough. Yeah, all that. So if I'm not going to say it to a child, let's see if we can start regulating what we're saying to ourselves and start being a bit more pleasant to ourselves. Last night I went and caught up with my sister and my very cute 1-year-old niece, and yeah, the thing is, you wouldn't say it. Okay, this beautiful little 1-year-old girl is love. She's incredible, and we were all that. Okay, so at what point are we a baby growing up, magnificent, miraculous, incredible, so worthy of love, so worthy of joy, worthy of the world? At what point in growing up do we stop being that for ourselves? Yeah. So yeah, just something to consider. Another thing is to also just become aware of our own needs and desires. So I've got this mortifying memory. I just moved out of home, so I would have been about age 18, and I was hanging out with these people that became really good friends actually, but we were sort of just hanging out, initially getting to know each other. And I remember one of the guys going, "Hey, what music are you into?" And I remember at the time having thoughts run through my head and go, "No, that music's not cool." And so I just shrugged my shoulders and went, "I don't know." But the truth is, there was stuff there that I had to share, okay? And I had a story that I was running that through a filter that wasn't particularly positive, so therefore I didn't share. So really starting to listen to the inner dialogue, the conversations I'm having to myself, but also checking in, well, what are my wants, what are my desires? So when someone says, do you want to go out for dinner this week, really checking in and going, well, is that really what I want? In actual fact, I've got 2 other nights out this week, and a third might just tip me over the edge in terms of my energy levels. So just saying, hey, I'd really love to, but I've got a bit on this week. Can we move that to next week? Yeah. So just really checking in with what my needs are and making my own demands because they're just as legit as anybody else's. Yeah. Yeah, so just paying attention. I can just see who's on live at the minute. All right, so the challenge title is actually Love Letter to Self. Now, this is not a unique one. Thanks, Tom. And it's actually quite challenging and confronting for the first time. I know because I did it, and I've got my initial love letter that I wrote to myself. Sadly, I made the mistake of not dating it. If you do this exercise, put a date on it so you know when you actually did it. I believe this was written roughly, it's either sometime in 2017 or 2018. I am still going to write a love letter today. I've just got to sit down and actually do it. But I had this thought, I'm going to read out the love letter that I wrote. And then when I read it, I was like, oh, shit, no, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I'm going to woman up and I'm going to read it in an attempt not to censor myself. So just putting a bit of context around this. I was going through a lot of change and growth at the time, and there's a lot of things that I read back in this now and I'm like so cringeworthy. However, I love that version of myself. She was going through a lot of shit at the time, right? Okay, I don't need to beat myself up over the fact that, yeah, there's a fair bit of things going on in here. So yeah, it was quite emotional. So take time to do it if you're up for it. If you're not, don't stress. Just paying attention to our thoughts and our conversations in our mind and what we're saying to ourselves, that's quite enough. Okay, but please, if you do a self-love letter, let me know. You can private message me too. You don't have to share in the group if that's not comfortable to you. All right. I'm going to read this out and then I'm going to go because I'm not going to be able to face you after having read it. Oh, it's so good. Dear Andrea, I love you. I love your adventurous, fun, spirited nature. You continually seek to learn and grow. Your lightness has been overshadowed by fear and programming, and I know now that you have realized this, that you will continually recognize it and push through those non-you thoughts. Good English. In doing so, you will encourage and inspire others to step through their layers too. Yeah, I told you it's cringeworthy. You are so caring and accepting of others and situations, and although still compassionate, it's now time for you to accept and care and love you. Feed and nourish yourself with the beneficial things around you. Spend time with those who lift and inspire you too. The rest may not understand, and that's okay. They will find their own path without you having to be there for them. Spend time in space and peace in nature. Connect with the earth and go within to find what you need. This will aid you when having to step up and question people and systems who have been sent here to help you grow. Be strong, know it will be okay, and work out exactly as it was decided. There is no rush or urgency required. The more you stop and connect to self and nature, the more everything else will flow to you. Surrender and make space for it all to come to you in its own time. Keep dreaming whilst being now. Trust yourself and this plan. Tall trees took hundreds of years to be as they are. You have been here many times and continue to grow and journey. Everything you need will be given to you. You will be provided for. Create the space and centeredness to receive it. Geez, a few things I could probably take on board right now. Notice the zzz I'll explain what that means another time. Notice the resistances, turmoil, acknowledge them and love them and accept them. Move through these. Okay, there is a bit I'm going to skip. That's not mine to share. Plan your adventures. Manifest what needs you have to make them happen. Breathe. Step into the energy that surrounds you. With heart, all my love, always and forever. Andrea Martell. So there you go. As I said, pretty cringeworthy, me going back and reading on that now. But there's some good little things that I can take note of there. And yeah, I'll take time today and actually do a new one. Yeah, that was my first, and I haven't done one since. So it's time to write myself a new love letter. So feel free, take some time and give that a crack for yourself. I found that I was quite emotional when I wrote that the first time, because I'd never addressed myself in such a loving, compassionate way. Okay, amazing to give ourselves the words, perhaps that we're not necessarily getting externally, and actually, yeah, being our own best friend effectively. Far out, what a concept. I know definitely in the past I've probably been my own worst enemy, and yeah, life gets so much more loving and we drop that. All right. 12 minutes. These are too long, guys. What am I going to do? All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for those that have stayed on. Big hugs and love to you all. Thank you for anyone that jumps on and listens to this later on in the day. So, yeah, love to hear if anyone actually sits down and gives that a crack, or let me know what your thoughts are. Are they being beneficial or a little bit detrimental to your self-loving relationship? All right. Big hugs, love. Everyone have a great day. And, yeah, see you tomorrow.